So hello and welcome to the Donny Chain Gang with me, Matt Payne. We're live from the Full Speed Events Old Beer Cellar Studios deep underground, and we are into the second part of the Halo Wheels Halo Spring Week, and quite appropriately I've been out on the mountain bike today on a set of Halo wheels, no less, out and blasting my way out and round, and even with stuff me getting it a little bit wrong today, which is always important. It's not like they're just a little lightweight rider to stop when it comes to getting it wrong, but no dramas for the wheels. So don't forget, of course, we have been running the Halo Wheels Halo Spring Week all week, and in the first draw for the members of the DCG gang, we gave away a jersey, a Halo jersey, to Paul Mallin. And good to see that Paul's been in touch with the team, to Josh, one of our regulars on the chain gang, and it's great to see our supporters of the DCG gang supporting the members, and of course coming and riding. So whether that's Caroline from Gritty, or Josh from the gang at Halo Wheels, or it's Ian from 1080, Annie from OT, Chris from Velaskin, and on it goes, obviously. So great to see them. The gang from Velaview, well, take your pick, John Wilder, Ben Lowe, Anna, the lot, they're all on, and of course riding quickly. Now, we are going to head over to Watopia, to the Ocean Cliffside loop, fairly shortly. But before we do that, we have the draw to deal with. This is for the members of the DCG gang. Members of the DCG gang are allocated out a number, and the wonderful technology that is the random number generator is here and rolling. So, random number generator, just over here. It gives us all of our members are numbered as they run right the way up from 1 upwards. And we've reversed it so it's the opposite way round. So the W's are not in the same place as the A's, and we've turned it on first name rather than surname, just to give it a mix up. Always good to give it a little bit of a stir. And fired up the generator. Now, Paul's not eligible, and neither is Josh, of course. So Paul's not eligible because he's won one, and we're on old school time trial rules and old school club rules, which is one rider, one prize. And of course, people like Josh and the guys who are involved in the chain gang as well, and all the people involved at Halo aren't eligible. So it does mean good odds today of another member getting hold of the goodies. Now, today, it's not a better kit. It's on a £100 voucher, courtesy of Josh and the gang at Halo, to spend on the HaloWheels.com website. Make sure you go on there and check that out. Now, it could be 100 dust caps, it could be jersey, it could be kit, it could be apparel, it could be putting it towards a set of wheels. Don't forget, of course, if you're a member of the Donny Chain Gang Supporters Club, Halo Wheels with a discount code on there, and 10% discount from Halo all the way through. So, let's stop the wonderful random number generator. It's only going to run twice more before we end, and that's going to be for OT week at the end of the month. So, close my eyes, screw them tight, and it stops on number 34, Carl Johnson. Carl, well done, Carl. Carl is taking away a £100 voucher. And Carl, of course, one of our real regulars on the Donny Chain Gang. So great to see Carl getting that. So Carl with the £100 voucher to spend at HaloWheels.com. And going to be looking forward to, we'll be putting those two in touch very shortly indeed. So congratulations to Carl winning on the Halo Wheels giveaway today for members of the DCG gang, and that is all about making sure we look at it. We've got to say thank you to the guys who quite literally keep the wheels rolling and the show on the road. And speaking of the show, it must be time to ring the one and only bear. That is Russ Dowding. It should be hopefully on the end of the phone line somewhere in deepest, darkest, or is that the sunlit pain cave that is over by the side of South Yorkshire. Russ, how are you?
I'm good, mate. You only just caught me.
Oh, well, what can I say? We're on 3 minutes to go. I thought, you know what, we'd better get in quick and actually give him time to talk today. So, great giveaway. We've got Carl winning today. We've got Paul winning on Tuesday. Both members of the DCG gang, and great to see them taking away the prizes from Halo.
Yeah, you know, it's always good to see the. I think Carl's been on right from the start, hasn't he? You know, he was he was struggling along with Martin Bolt right at the start, and now he loves it, you know.
He's
So
absolutely nailing it. I wouldn't want to go up against him in a sprint. I tell you, he's really is. You can guarantee wherever he is, he's going to be giving that some big beans coming in. Maybe he'd even take you out. You never know.
well, it's not hard to take me out, is it nowadays?
We probably does well a little bit more, a bit like myself. We always try and muscle you out of the way. We've got Halo Wheels, of course, looking after the gang. Always great to have them on board. And today we are on a course I would think would suit Josh Mayland down to the ground because we are out on Ocean Lava Cliffside Loop. Tell us the reason for this one for those who weren't watching last week.
Can't remember what reason I gave. but jokes aside, you know, there's a lot of people really like this one when we went here a few times. So, you know, stick a few favourites in there. I don't mind it, you know. I can sometimes get over that early if I'm feeling all right. So, yeah, should be a good night. Well, we got 42k, so it's not crazy long. Fast and furious is probably the word.
Definitely. So going to be really interesting to see how that pans out. And we'll come to either on the way into the hill or on the other side. And we'll probably better show people where the hill is very shortly because it is a bit of a stinker. So I guarantee today we won't come to you on a hill. Well, not the big one anyway.
Yeah, I think you'd be right on this. Up and over it, so as long as you don't ring me as we're cresting the top, I might be able to answer.
We'll see. Speak soon. Cheers, Russ.
Cheers, mate.
Well, and without further ado, let's dive across straight away over to the map, the wonderful map, Ocean Cliffside Loop in Watopia. This is real simple. We come out from downtown, we head up the Dragon over the glass bridge that takes us into the volcano. Initial drag could split the group. Going to need some good control to keep everyone together. Round the volcano, then across the causeway, going up in towards Italian Village, but turning right, dropping back down, and then coming as if we're going to go up the epic KOM the wrong way. And there is a stinker of a climb. It essentially is incredibly steep. The small island that you see on the bottom half of that figure of 8, that little island on the left-hand side has got a 15% slope on it, and it is a long, horrible drag all the way to the left-hand turn that traverses across. Then it's bumpy. Big regroup always needed at that point before we then drop screaming down through the island on the right hand side and then rejoin the tunnels to come back in. And we're going to do this twice. And that means it's 38.5k, and it guarantees that we are going to have a tough old ride tonight. But it ain't easy. It's the Donny Chain Gang. What do you expect? The man in charge, of course, is Russ Down, and he's making sure that everybody goes exactly where they're supposed to. Also is the man who is meant to be making sure that the pace is just right. Don't forget, of course, though, that our red beacon in the shape of Ian Bale of Bolsover and District, he's the man who is going to be looking after everybody at the back. And thank you very much to Ian and all the gang who have done our red beacon duty. So let's dive from the Swift Hacks map across to the profile. As you can see, we've flipped the map round. We start nearest to ourselves, nearest to us on the map. We then move around this course in an anti-clockwise direction. So from the start, there's that light yellow section, pale green, just coming up to the 1k marker. Then we traverse around the volcano, drop down at about 3k, cross the causeway up in towards the villas at 6k, dropping back down. But then you can see from the 8k mark right up to the 10k mark, that is an awfully nasty steep section of the hillside. You see the oranges and reds just peeping through, and that is because it is a steep climb. But from 10 right the way to 12.5k, it still rises, moving up, and then dropping back down from 12.5k all the way down 13, 14, 15k, right down to the 17k marker when we're under the tunnels, and then we climb back up through the start and then repeat. So, tough course tonight, gonna be hard. Let's see just who is going to be able to handle it. Will the bus be busy at the back? Is Mr. Bale going to be keeping the tickets handed out? Well, let's go have a look. Let's go join him here on the Donny Chain Gang, live with me, Matt Payne, on the Downey Cycling YouTube channel. So welcome to the Donny Chain Gang live on the Downey Cycling YouTube channel with me, Matt Payne. It is Halo Spring Week to celebrate the sport of Halo wheels of the members of the Donny Chain Gang and our great giveaways. Congratulations to Paul and Carl, both winners this week. And of course, if you're a member of the DCG gang, the Donny Chain Gang Supporters Club, then don't forget that you have access to a 10% discount from Halo Wheels, and you can pick that up. The details all in the members' email that goes out to everybody. Now, just seeing this group just started to get a little bit spread out here. Just watching Ryan Williams and Ian Bale, along with Craig Herring, just start to pull the way back in again. The usual sort of people stretching their legs out, just breaking up the group here on the Chain Gang. The format of the Chain Gang, it's really simple. We ride out from the start under the instructions of our yellow beacons. This is usually around the 2 to 2.5 watts per kilo, and we head our way up and away. In theory, everybody does as they're told until we reach the point when we go to the release, and that release is set. That's release is set by the one and only Russ Downing today. That is the Bear, as he's known. Russ, of course, experienced former national champion, a multi-year pro, as well as the rider who has ridden far too many Donny Chain Gangs, both on the roads out and around Doncaster, and of course here on the virtual world of Zwift. Russ picks his point, presses the button, and then away we go. And the riders know that at that point that's going to be very entertaining indeed, as you can see the riders though are making their way out and away from downtown, and just making their way around that side of the volcano, go around this course in an anti-clockwise direction. I got to say a massive thank you to Ian, our red beacon, a man who's gone for a nice fiery red Tron bike, as well as having the red kit. You can just see that chevron up above his head there in the Halo sign, quite literally just keeping him earmarked for everybody as he makes his way in and through these twists and turns. Currently in the heart of the volcano. Rusty Yellow Beacon just a little distance away. You can see the pillar from Russ just up in the sky. But at the moment, Ian Bale going to be the man making the group, pulling the group up towards the front here. So let's have a little look at his stats as we make our way in and through the Bolsover District. Rider at the moment just pushing out some good watts here, 355 watts just going up here, just making sure you can bring everybody back into pace. Keith Richardson from the Donny Chain Gang just right behind, and the gang just pulling back in together. So looks like the gang all together, the helicopter up in the air, the beacon grabbing everybody and pulling them all back in again. And looks like the whole of the gang are back together. So in powering those riders back in again, and then no doubt going to be settling in to see who's rolling around the back. Looks like we may well have a certain Mr. Cooper. Good to see George out on the bike again, going for a nice lightweight bike on those climbs. Nothing like going for everybody, going for the thing that's going to work to your strengths. Darryl Tatchell-Waller just nicely on the back of the group here. And of course, Darryl Tatchell-Waller, one of those riders who we know can really take this group out. The rider just swinging his way around those turns to come back on. He was a rider who was right up in the mix on Tuesday, put in an early attack up Box Hill, ended up with a great final position. Not able to take the win though, so going to be very entertaining, I think, a little bit later on as we hit those lumps and bumps on the second lap. Big question is where Russ will send it, because of course it is a tough course, and the longer that is left, the closer it'll go until we go into that steep climb. I can't imagine he'll leave it until over the other side of it, but you never know. That's the great advantage of having the beacons with that total discretion to choose where and when they want to go. So just watching the group get back together, the gang on the road again. We've got a good chance, I think, at the moment, just to bring have people up to speed if they've just been missing the early part of the show. We're here in Ocean Cliffside Loop. This is in Watopia, and this is one of our real fast courses. It's one of our really quick parts of Watopia at the moment, making the way around through these turns. So the gang working together nice and smoothly at the moment, and it looks like pretty much everybody rolling through. Just see Derek Tatchell just rolling his way through as we make our way out and along the causeway here, heading away from that volcano and heading into towards the Italian villas. So good to see Jimmy Allen using his observational skills whilst he was away. One of the things that has been introduced are the numbers on the top right hand side of the screen, so we can pick a rider. We can tell you exactly where they are in there. It is not 100% accurate, so don't rely on it necessarily if you finish your positions. It's always better to scroll back through the YouTube videos and do a count back. However, it is pretty accurate in terms of if you're on the front, you're going to know your number 1 of 58. And if you're at the back, you're going to be 58, 58. So remember, you're there. In fact, you won't be 58 because 58 is going to be the full speed events. Monica, do remember, please, guys, make sure that you keep a check of where you're heading. So it looks like Sonia Inslee dropping in. Good to have Sonia back in with us. Another bowl server gang. It's actually the bowl server AGM last night. Very sociable AGM. Might have consumed something fizzy and bubbly on the during the course of the meeting. It was always good fun. Having a chance catching up with all of the gang from Bolsover up there, and great to see the local club scene absolutely thriving. So many club runs and generating so many riders. Great to see. Now, back to the Donny Chego. Yes, we did get mentioned in passing, oddly enough. The riders making the way on the gravel section, coming up the climb. Craig Herring just sat at the back of the group, making his way up in that Downing Cycling Coast riders kit. The riders will come up towards the Italian villas, but they're going to take a right-hand turn, and this right-hand turn will lead them back around the side of the waterfall before they drop back down again. So the group are working well together here on Halo Spring Week. Nothing too drastic in terms of gaps. Nobody playing being too silly on the front. Generally, those who do play silly what's it's on the front are those that, guess what? They're the ones who are usually at the back really early on, with all those wonderful racing excuses like the dog ate my power, I left my watts at home, etc. So Craig on the way through, a man who definitely we know is going to not only play the game but look after everybody else. And you can just see out to the right there the climb out and across the riders. We'll probably get another view of it as we go around. We're just coming up to the top of the climb. We're going to take this right hand turn, and that bridge and that island in the background is exactly where we're going. You can see the zigzag climb behind the riders as they come out around the side of the villa, and it shows you that is just how big this climb is. It's a proper tough climb. It's about 3/4 of the way up the volcano for comparison. As we go out and past the waterfalls here in Watopia on the exit of the villas, and we'll soon be dropping back down across the bridges, down past the seaplane and past the flying boat, and then on to that big climb for the first time. The group all holding together nicely at the moment. Now, a number of riders not with us tonight. Some of our regulars out in the sunshine, some of our regulars out with COVID or similar. A number of riders incapacitated or at work, and just sending out our regards from the Donny Chain to everybody. Don't forget, guys, we have a couple of weeks left on the chain gang before we take a break for the summer. After 2 years solidly, we are going to be making our way into the summer break fairly shortly. On the run-in, we're going to finish off Halo Week this week. Then we're going to have our second to last week. Our penultimate week is next week. A couple of great routes on that coming up. And then we're going to be on to our final week, which is going to be a OTE special giveaway a week, courtesy of Addy and Co. Just to round it off, and a final thank you to the members of the DCG gang before we take that summer break. So no need for us to throw up lots of kit on there. And lots of info. Everybody knows the score. Everybody's riding together as a group. Looks like Jimmy on just almost onto the back. A little bit of a gap back to the yellow and red beacon at the moment. I don't think that's because anybody's powering along. Just take a little bit of a look at the numbers on our sneaky preview board that we have on one side. When they say Big Brother is watching, what they actually mean is Big Matt is watching you. And guess what? We don't mean the team, me. We've got lots of cameras in lots of different machines. We're not just relying on what you see on the TV screens. We also are looking in the background and making sure we keep an eye on who is doing what. And great to see. One of the things it does tell us is just who's on. I've just seen Tom Knight, the Halo Wheels ambassador. Members of the DCG gang will have seen him burning his way out and round. If you've been at a National Mountain Bike Series or an international race, you'll have seen him. Long time ambassador for Halo Wheels and a very fast rider indeed. Great to see he is in the gang and riding tonight. So great to have Tom in, a fellow ambassador along with Russ for Halo Wheels. So Andy Hall's in with us. We also have Dean Taylor in here. Dean, welcome to the DCG gang. Just watching Mr. Gentham making his way through in that downhill cycling coaching works kit, running on the disc wheel and the front on the way down as we make our way away from the villas that are on the little island behind us. We're going to be going down into the marina, across the marina bridges, and then taking the right-hand turn past the flying boat and up onto the ascent, which has those really steep slopes and takes us up onto the side of the Epic KOM, the little island that we climb up through, just visible there as we came around that turn. And we'll be seeing it again a little bit closer soon. But the bunch looking very smooth. The beacons in, all the riders together. Plenty of people keeping those sort of revs nice and smooth on the way through. Some nice cadence there. And looks like the gang are well and truly Grupo Compacto as we're coming in to take the right-hand turn and go up into towards the climb. So over the bridges we go. We're going to take the right-hand turn. That hillside is going to loom large in the sights of all of our riders. They're just being kicked up as they make their way in and through. Just seeing, I think, a little bit of an issue for one rider just on the back. I suspect they'll be able to get back in again. Just depends on who it is as to whether the panic signals are thrown out. But I think all going to be good. So the flying boat first on the right. The 8-engined flying boats to the right, then it's the seaplane left and right hand side afterwards, going up on to the bank in front. And we're going to just take a little bit of a side view of the riders coming up in front of them. The big zigzag climb goes up to the right, left, then right up the slope on that closer edge to the mountain. Then it goes straight up and across the side of the bridge. You can just see at the moment those gaps just sat there. I think pretty much everybody almost together. Just one or two riders just started to drift off the back here. I'm not sure whether that's so that they can give themselves a little bit of sliding route to come in to the back of the bunch here. I suspect it is just riding in with Tom Knight at the moment. So Tom in that grey and blue camo, just sitting at the back of the gang. Let's drop some numbers in for Tom here. So just ticking his way along that hard rate. Hold on. Kai Hurst having held back with, my goodness, we must be coming in towards it. So we've only been doing this for 2 years now. Finally, people get it. It's great to see. Good to have Guy back. Always one of the characters of the chain gang, and the chain gang is made up of those characters on the ride. And good to see everybody back in. So Craig Genther, Billy No Mates just pushing on up. Tom Knight just rolling into the back of the pack, and this is where you're going to see the gang come back together very, very quickly as these slopes kick in. So Tom just making his way up this climb. You can just see the gang making the way up these slopes here. Plenty of blue jerseys from last night's the squad ride on Zwift as they make their way in and through. Just seeing a Aeonian jersey coming through. That's going to be Cindy Gagan going through. Cindy, one of our fast female riders on the chain gang, and another of our riders on the Dudley chain gang. Great to see Cindy in there. And the squad having some great rides at the racing on Tuesday, and congratulations to them. Emma, the leader of the women only on Wednesdays, Donny Chain, still recovering from COVID, so did the DS job on the team time trial, and they came in and through, although their numbers are a little decimated. They came through, still holding second position in the league in the team that she was DSing, but all of the Aeonian squads performing amazingly well, so great to see them in action. And you can just see this group pretty much all working well. These guys, as the Aeonian squads, as they make their way up through and around these turns. So you can see we've got Tracy Seeley in here, Claire Richardson back in with the gang, Owen Davies in here. We've got Mr. Forbes tucked in as well. Just spotting that jersey. Here we go. So looks like the Aeonian jersey of Cindy Gagan tucked in there. Onto this steep section we go. We've watched them come around this nasty little turn. This is, of course, a dress rehearsal for next time. I'm loving the fact Jimmy said, call it now, do it, just do it, just do it. So making the way up and around those turns, and you can just see the whole of that group is working hard. Darrell Shawal said he agrees, go for it, just do it, just do it. Now let's take a little bit of a run through the group. Ian Bale holding the rear position, tail end Charlie, and doing that rear gunner's job, keeping an eye on everybody, making sure nobody is distance. And as you can see, we're going to make our way over and across the bridge, and then you can just about make out the traversing line that slowly ascends its way up, as you'll have seen from the fellow viewer graphic. It is a slight ascent all the way across it, and that makes it hard. It's not just this steep, nasty section of climb that brings us up from the shoreline, and in fact we can just about make out the seaplane down there. There we go. So you can just see just how high we've climbed already. A total ascent 95 meters for the ride, 96 meters and counting. It's a big ascent on the way up. Ian just patrolling the back of that group, but pretty much all of the gang together. So Stefano Borelli in here. Interesting to see that Rusty saying that just Tom Lindley is very quiet tonight, saving his energy. Now, let's let Rob Wimble in here. You can see Rob in the gang, just at the back of the group. Now, a little bit of speculation. Tom Lindley's dad saying, don't put the bear. Hi, Tom Lindley's dad. We need another avatar for him. So let's have a little look. We've got Mr. Kirkham tucked in there nicely. Craig Gesser moving his way up. Looks like Mr. Thorpe tucked in there. Oh, and Davis. Look at the gang. It really is working well together. We're right on the top of the bridge at the moment. I'm just going to take a little bit of a look back. Let's see if we can get a slightly different camera angle. You can see the height we've ascended there. We're heading up to sort of the observatory height as we come up towards that left-hand turn. Here we go. So you can see just how high we are. There is more than just the Rusty's Ghost bike on there. Here comes the gang. They're in stealth mode, just coming around that left-hand turn. So you can see just how high we've climbed. We're right up above the sea and above that shoreline. Now going to make our way along, not taking that right-hand turn, thank goodness, up onto the Epic. We're going straight in and around the side of the Ocean Cliffside loop. We run downhill from here into the tunnels, then it is that drag up into the finish. Fortunately for Mr. Williams, we only go once up there. Dale, you really need to read the emails, the members' emails, I promise you. I sit there, I type it, put a little description on there. We get all the facts from Swift Insider, all the stats from fellow viewers, give everybody the links. We tell them when the course starts and finishes, how many laps. Dale, you read it on Monday without excuses. It's not a reason. That just means that you were trying hard. It is now Thursday in day. Good to see that Dale is obviously watching the live coverage. Dale would go up it 9 times. Honest Gov, not. Now, the boulder falling down off the side, the landslide coming down. It might not be Snake Pass. It might only be a little bit of dirt on the way out and around the side. But this is just for all those who didn't make it up while Snake Pass was close to the other traffic and able to ride it. And Willie Keith Richardson, we're riding it 7 times. Maybe only on one of the rides that are going out on the roads, the DCG gang members, and good to see the rise of the members of the DCG gang meeting up out on the rides out on the tarmac roads and out and around the area. Great ride, great to see so many people out. Well, over 20 people out on the first one. Make sure you're on that Facebook page for more details. I know that the gang are going to be really busy, so I've got to say a massive thank you to Keith Richardson, Vin Donahoe, along with Tracy Seeley. They are very busy making, plotting and planning, looking at routes, etc. So make sure you're on that Facebook page. Don't forget, of course, plenty of room for pop-up rides on the Zwift platform. We're not disappearing altogether, and still going to be really busy all the way out and through. For everybody who has actually been watching, the gigs are really starting to get very busy indeed, as well as the regular e-cycling streaming on the Sundays. So we've also got lots of in the roadside gigs, so all of the National Cricket Series is going to be out. We're also supporting Emma and myself at Full Speed Events, supporting the Scarborough Festival of Cycling, so we can get a trip to the seaside. Actually, it's because it's one of the big youth events of the year and has a massive different formats. Going to be busy with the UCI XCE Eliminator World Cup Series. That's going to be heading out and onto your screens as well, as well as lots of other events. And for all that's asked, no, I wasn't in the National Mountain Bike Series. No, I have nothing to do with it at all. No, I can't come and do it, whether you want me to or not. And thank you very much for asking. I do appreciate it. Now, Mr. Goddard just diving on down in the middle of that bunch. Billy No Mates tucked in here. Mick Hawkins in. Looks like Andy Hall's well and truly in this group as well. Chris Gale tucked in nicely here. Russell Osman just at the back of Mr. Tom Lindley. Just Tom Lindley tucked in at the back there, keeping quiet, just keeping those legs turning. It is indeed hot. It's hot pretty much everywhere. It was even so warm. I was out with Emma and Indy the Trail Dog today out at Sherwood Pines, apart from dodging the picnickers with the ice cream. So, I think we spent more time cooling the dog down than we did actually riding. It's not that it was particularly a problem. Always good to have a stop in a chinway, but just definitely a lot of fun today out on those bikes. Don't forget to give us a follow. That is Matt Fixpayne on Strava, on Swift, as well as on Facebook. Russ, of course, all over social media as well. And make sure you go on there, give him a follow. And if you do see us out in real life, give us a shout. Even better, give us a push up the hill or buy us coffee when we're at the cafe. Take your pick. So, Mr. Kirkham just at the side of the road at the moment, just stopping there. This is not the best place to stop, unfortunately, because currently lost a load of time, and that's going to be just on this downhill. Now, can Kirk can get back in. He's got about 3.5 minutes if he goes and dives off and wants to jump back in again. I don't think you're going to get in without a very big fight to get back into the gang at the moment. I would be jumping out and relogging back in and rejoining the event, because at the moment, this group on the descent, you see everybody taking it nice and easy. Nobody's going so hard that it's splitting, but look at the speed they're moving. This pace picking up all on its own. It doesn't need us to show you exactly what the numbers are. We can do though. Currently heading for 60 kph at the moment. Now Ian Bale just asking at the back. Ian, you are on the back, mate. So just rolling on down with Mr. Thorpe and co. So good to have Carl Johnson on board. Carl, thanks for giving us a follow. Always appreciate that. Nice to see that Russ's lightweight physique is not helping him in the slightest on this downhill. And currently just at the back of this group. See Mr. Lindley not talking about Tuesday. Well, he's not going to. He had a bit of a hard time on Tuesday. 4 riders going into the sprint. Ryan Williams caught them all napping, basically. Don't actually what did it on the way in. Now, the group rolling down, pushing the way in and through these turns. Got to keep it close together. Not too spread out there, got to admit. I'm impressed to say we had some very early splits. That's looking at about 25 seconds, 30 seconds between. The front group is going to need to ease off, but guys at the back just having a little look. Ryan Williams, Paul Mullin, Mr. Thorpe, Mr. Bale, Mr. Wimble, they're all quick riders. Nobody here is going to be shy about putting out some big numbers to get back together. So let's keep an eye on that as these groups start to make their way up. This is about putting out the numbers and getting that group back together. So let's see how they go on. Just see George Cooper. Now, no surprises. George got dropped on the way down. Rumours that George is lighter than Russ's leg are definitely true. Just one of his legs, in fact. One of our light riders are one of our very quick riders. But with the moment he goes downhill, George is at a distinct disadvantage, much to everybody's joy. Not because we don't like George, because we love him a bit, but because he can always give us a kick in the moment it goes uphill or the moment he gets technical. Now, the gang on the front just being told to knock it off a little bit because the group spread out, and George probably 30 kilos lighter than Tom Lindley. Quite possibly, I don't even want to work out what he is lighter than me. Our youngsters are generally lighter than anybody else, and it looks like George just taking an easy spin down there. So let's take a little look. George just dropping out. George, if you can't jump back in again, I'll give you a heads up now. He's having tech issues, says Tim. That's not good. Blame Dad, we have. So it looks like George with tech issues. That's actually not good news because George just ran along at out of the water, so it looks like issues for George. Now the gang just a little bit fractured here. We're just riding in with Sonia, Chris. At the moment we've got is that Kai Hurst sat next to a beacon? Oh my goodness, Kai, are you feeling alright, mate? He's having a talk, that's why. So let's have a little bit of a look. This is not the back group either. We're just a little underwater at the moment, and the group is just a little bit spread out now. Tim Cooper and Keith Richardson just going down. We're waiting for news from the back to see what's happening with George, whether he's managed to kick it up. We know George can put out 20 watts a kilo, basically. Now he's up at 7 watts per kilo, 8 watts per kilo. Are we going to see a comeback from George? He's going to be the comeback kid. Is the tech going to be reliable enough for him to pull his way back into the group. This is going to take a bit of doing. So let's put a call out here. We will see, can we get some bodies back for a certain Mr. George Cooper, one of our youngsters who has been with the gang since the go. So it looks like we've already got people dropping back. So Keith already looking to go back and give George a hand. George is coming. 6.9 watts per kilo. That's give you a heads up. He's a fair way back. If you're going back, guys, let's get some crumbs back. Let's get some assistance to this young man who has helped riders so many times in the past. Absolute example of exactly what we're after now. George is on the chase. The gap is a big one, but he's coming. You can see top of the screen the distance up to the front currently from George at the back to the very front is 1 minute 30. 1 minute 30. So if you are at the front, ladies and gentlemen, he's on the way. He's coming. Not the pace off. I could see lots of those numbers dropping. This young man has helped more bodies than you've had probably hot dinners in the last 6 months, and has looked after plenty of riders in his time, going back and helping them out. A real credit to the team. Now here we go. We're going to see how they get on, because currently 34 seconds. I think we've got one of our real heroes here. We've got Keith Richardson just waiting for him here. Just coming in to the climb. It looks like Greg Pillsworth is dropping back. Craig Genther. Ian Bales doing the same. Rich Orrell, Chris Goddard. Tim Cooper's doing the same. Tim, you know he's going to come fly. George requesting a flyby. He's not there yet, mate. He's not there yet. He can blooming have it if he can make it. He's coming round the turn. Can he get there? Are we going to get a George Cooper sure pints of flyby by the Sparrow? But here we go. Now this is going to be interesting. Hudson was indeed helped, and look where he finished on Tuesday, right at the front. I'm not sure George is in that kind of form at the moment. He's already using a feather power up on the way up here. So here we go, closing on Keith Richardson, like Keith Richardson stood still. So Keith, put the power down, mate. Here we go. Keith puts down 30.7 watts per kilo to try and get on to the back. Yeah, look at the heart rate, 196 beats per minute from George at the moment. Bet Keith can't get that. No, 130 for Keith. So we'll focus on George on the comeback here. He's got Keith Richardson with him. Here we go. Now the bodies are starting to amass beside him. We've got Greg Pillsworth now alongside George. We've got all of this gang starting to work together. That was Chris Goddard and Mr. Forbes just coming in and through. And this is looking like it's going to be a real fast flyby. This group are starting to pick up numbers and bodies, and this is getting fast. So can they get back on by the time the leaders hit the line? They've got double the distance to do, but they are absolutely motoring now. And this is why you've got to have strength in depth, and this is why you play the game. Because when you get dropped, people come back for you, just like they have done for George, like Mr. Hudson. They've got to really work hard for them, but you just see George tucked in with this group, really motoring here. Look at this, Dale Williams is back here. Who else have we got tucked in with the group? Goddard in there, Craig Genther. It looks like Craig Herring is just about to get picked up on his way in and through. Just taking a look, looks like Tom Lindley tucked back in here, giving a hand as well. Now, I'm not surprised George is sitting in this and trying to hang on tight, because they are absolutely motoring well. They didn't quite get by the time they got to the line, but they've closed down a whole load of time. 30 seconds to go. So George and the gang are absolutely nailing it from the back of the group. Jimmy Allen has come back. This is a group of about 15 to 20 riders now, coming strong from the back of the pack. Oh, Vin Donahoe just on the back there, Rich. Let me just coming back as well. You can just see this pack are building bodies. The gap between the yellow and the red beacon is diminishing here. I think the pace is spitting bodies out the back of that main group if they're not careful. Just watching Ryan Williams just trying to pull himself back in with them. You've got to stay in that pack. They are absolutely motoring. So Ryan just putting a kick in here. He's gone back down 170 from him. George tucked in here. 193 beats. Now, here we go. They are absolutely flying up onto them. George is back in the pack as this group comes back together. Amazing stuff. And that is what we wanted to see. As the group work together, that's what Donny Chain Gang is all about. We look after each other. It's one of the reasons we found it so important to say thank you to everybody by putting those discounts in from Gritty, from Grand Tour Coffee, 1080 from the prizes that come in from Nonnas. That was some chase back, and always could see the riders getting saying thank you very much on the way through. George says definitely wasn't making it up without you. So that was some serious work done by the gang. Amazing to see, and exactly what we want to see. Now, this is where we've got to be a little bit more careful, because when we get a group come back in and they all pack straight in, this is all about holding it together, because this is when people get drops. When they all come back together, people put in an extra effort, the pack is reformed, the dynamics is changing in that group. At the moment, this is going to be very interesting. I would love it. Steady one before the Nationals said, take it easy, they said. Indeed, George heading for the second of the National Mountain Bike Series. I think, if I remember right, that is going to be up at Newcastleton. Good luck, George, and everybody who's going up there. If you're out and racing this weekend, good luck. If you're out and riding, enjoy. So as we go into the volcano, let's see if we can catch up with Russ. Now the excitement of bringing George back on has died down somewhat. That was some going on. I've stretched a few legs back there. Let's see how Russ is doing with the group all around him by the look of it. Russ, how are you?
Did someone say muscles or something about George?
I think he's all sinew, really, isn't he? I don't think he's big enough to have any muscles.
I've seen bigger knots in cotton.
It clearly works, though. I tell you that much, because that was some chase, but I know he had a lot of help. But you saw that heart rate, 196. Can you ever remember getting your heart rate that high, Russ?
100 and what was it?
196, I saw.
No, never.
That is scary stuff.
Maximum I've seen when I was 16 was 191.
Wow.
And that was, yeah, I was in trouble.
Well, it definitely worked for him, because he's back in with the group, and quite a lot of riders going off, and of course now out and racing. Weekends, lots of people out and riding as well. But the gang still marches on, and if we ever want an example of why the gang is just the best thing since sliced bread, I think we just saw it.
Yeah, I did see him at 111 down at some point, so not bad. I see Dale Williams was actually good at counting for once and not telling time, and he was telling everyone what the speed was on the front. Like he said, we weren't hanging around, we just weren't squeezing on, so the momentum was carrying things forward. So great effort by everyone for sure.
Yep. Yeah, definitely, and great to see, and the group holding together so well. I mean, okay, smaller numbers makes it easier, and great to see so many riders in here that were just absolute regulars on the chain gang. But definitely a little bit different, because we don't see the quite the same draft effect, but it doesn't make it any easier when you're chasing on the back. Now, we've been up the climb once already, so that climb's pretty nasty, isn't it? Particularly those hairpin bends.
Any climb's nasty, Matt. It's I've done one too many climb over the years, and it's not even any easier online. So it's all good fun, but we wanted some fun routes for the last month, and I'm sure we'll have good fun here. You're doing a good job actually here, Matt. I'm sure some of the members have said ring Russ, because I was thinking of calling Go 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 at like 20k to go. Jimmy came round early and we had a brief chat. So you ringing me, I'd put me off the scent. So
would I do a thing?
yeah,
Would I do a thing
everyone's
like
happy.
that? And have you actually? I can really get really into the detail. And the other question I always get asked is, has Russ really got a 60-tooth chainring?
70.
A 70?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I've not used it. I will, honestly. I swear to you all, I will use it before the DCG's finish this month. So pick a flat one.
We've got Tempest Future coming up. Are you here for Tempest Future, Russ?
Yeah, should be. Yeah, I'm going to stick a 70.
I can't imagine you let Jimmy have that one.
No, I think I'm here for that. So I will think. Yeah, just put what gears you want on a Wahoo kicker bike. So.
Oh, you are. You are.
Like I say, I think
Tuesday.
Dale Williams is cutting his 65 round now on the front light. No, Kai, sorry. It's Kai. It's just, yeah, it's all good fun.
Yep, going to be interested to see. Yeah, get that lined up, Russ, for Tempest Future. Nice 72. We want a picture on Facebook.
I think it'd be 70. 70-10 will be my biggest gear. I think it runs. You can run it on a Shimano 12 speed, so a 10-28. I might need the 28.
Yeah, not on Future. You won't. It's pancake flat if you don't get up those hills.
I'm not sure though, but can you imagine the chain line on that?
It's not
70-28. I know the Wahoo Kicker's not got a chain, but it would be screaming like mad, wouldn't it, at that point?
Yeah, just trying to push all the way across. Not good. Not good.
It's all good fun though.
Definitely. Well, looks like I better leave you to it because the man you're going to give a whole load of beer rate to has just decided to keep the numbers ticking on the front. No surprises there. And we'll let you keep hold of everybody until that magical point and those magic letters and words are uttered. I'm not going to say them online, though.
Yeah, I think Tom Lindley's got him, though. He's got his cards marked. He's just said, is that Kai off the front? Who else do you think it is? And I was going to put a small little Yorkshire swear word in there, but I better not.
No, don't. It's got to go on to YouTube.
Yeah, sure, I don't think the YouTube police would get me for that one.
You never know these days. It's probably everywhere. AI is coming. Yeah. Right, we'll let you go. Good luck, Russ. I'll see you on the other side of the finish line.
Yeah, 109 beats per minute. It's working. The old chatting and riding is good for you.
Yeah, it's something like that. I'd be fit as a fiddle if it did. Good luck, bud. Right. That's our Russ done with for a little while because guess what? We're heading out into lap number 2. We're just coming around the side out from the villas. The gang are pretty much all together. Just seeing the red beacon just starting to drift nearer to the back there with Rob Wimble. Rob, of course, one of the stalwarts of cycling in the East Midlands area. One of the people who keeps the Notts and Derby Cyclocross League ticking along. And, of course, a regular competitor for his Drogon race team. And one of our regulars on the chain gang as well. So just squeezing his way back on to the back of the bunch. The group almost all together. We're just making our way down towards the descent off the side of the villas and down into towards the marina once again. So you can just see Ian and Rob pushing the way up here, heading up to the top. They've got to get in to the way down. I'm loving Dale Williams trying to suggest that we should have the trigger after the climb, because we're already nearly there anyway. Don't think you're going to get away with that, mate. I hate to break it to you. So on to the descent we go. 2 riders just fighting to get onto the back, and this is the draft really taking into effect. Paul Mallon, our winner from Tuesday, who'll be getting a halo jersey to add to his multicoloured jersey at the moment. Just taking a little bit of a look back from Paul at the moment, just seeing those 2 chasers. They're working like mad at the moment and not getting anywhere fast. And that is just to do with the sheer physics of the bunch making its way down this slope. So the bunch currently travelling at 48 kph. We're just going to take a little bit of a run back and let's see if we can get to the gang behind. 48 kph, just matching the speed. They've got to put a little bit more on there. Put a little bit more coal on because they've got to get up onto the group. The group's doing 49 kph now and 48 for the chasers. Not sure the bar is open. It's a blooming fast bus at the moment. The bus, I think, at the moment has got 9 trucks at the moment. It's going to be moving at 3.5 watts per kilo. Just to be in the red bus, it's a fast old night tonight. Coming into this long right-hand turn in a moment as we watch Rob Wimble just going across the bridge in the company of Ian Bale. Ian, of course, Bolsover District CC rider in the red and black. Our red beacon working hard at the back, trying to keep everybody moving nice and smoothly. Whilst we watch them chase on. It's all going to go quiet for a moment, mostly because I've got a Grand Tour coffee on the go. So just seeing Monty, I think just off the back of the pack there as the group come around that right-hand turn. Little bits of splits just starting to form in the group. Monty being distanced out of the back of the pack. Monty, get some message on the board, buddy. That way we'll be able to tell if you need a little bit of assistance down at the back there. So Monty, one of our younger riders, just being distanced coming into the climb. One of our youngsters who we know can climb really well. Meanwhile, let's get everybody panicking. Put the cameras on this, always makes everybody upset. Twitchy leg syndrome suddenly kicks in the moment that everybody sees the cameras just dropping down over onto them. So it's like Ian just trying to check to see if Monty's going to need some assistance. He's going to come up that climb pretty quickly. Ian, I'd wait at the top, buddy. Monty, you okay, bud? If you're watching live, you need to give us a shout. Let's jump on board. I've gone quiet, Tim. That never happens. Hopefully that's a bit better. Could go properly quiet, not actually talk at all, but that's a bit like asking Tom Lindley not to say anything. So here we go, up onto the climb, and here on the Downey Cycling YouTube channel, it is Russ that we're in and following. Just watching a few bodies now start to feel the pressure. Andy Horse is in here. Come on, Andy, just imagine it's Saclobra that you're going up. It feels probably just as hard and horrible. So the gang on the way up on to the steep section. So it looks like Tom Lindley just dropping back with Russ. Andy Horse has got a spurt on, just moving his way up onto the wheels of Russ. Russ just trying to tick his way up this slope. Looks like Sean just with a bit of a drop out. Monty on the way up on to the climb. He's going to go past Sean. He's got Ian in front, and Monty, one of our youngsters we know can climb really well. Sean, looks like Sean's gone back actually there to give assistance. He's jumped on just at the right time. So Monty and Sean now on to the climb. Going to be pushing the way up this slope and round the turn. The gang currently doing something a bit weird up at the front. Because it looks like they've put some serious time into Russ off on the front. So Monty with Ian now. Ian just picking up that pace. You can just see jumping on to the back here. Just see Sean in front. They're going to try and close the way down on to the back of the group. Could be a good chase. Could be a good chase back. This Monty, one of our real quick youngsters, coming into these turns. This is the steepest section of the ascent. The time ticking 52 minutes in, 28k on the clock. So the yellow beacon just on the slopes directly above our red beacon. Monty and Ian Bale working well together. They're going to come around this turn. 13% kicks in as you go into this section of the climb. They can see that yellow beacon in front. And as you take a little bit of a look up, you can just see that bunch all just really sitting around Russ. So Monty doing a good ride back on here, Ian and Monty working hard. It's going to have a good old workout. The red beacons have a tough old day out of the office, a bit silly. So Monty and Ian are really working hard here, trying to get in to the back of the pack. So the numbers shown on everybody's screen. Everybody's going to know who is where. No excuses for knowing that not thinking that you're at the front when you are, or vice versa. And looks like Monty and Ian continuing to try and make this ascent push up into this group. The back of the pack making the way across the bridge at the moment. So at the moment we have our red beacon currently at 23 seconds down with Monty. We've got Gary, got Rob Wimble, Sonia, Miss Keyworth in front. They're nearly on, I think 20 seconds and closing at a real fast pace. They're going to pick up Gary Patterson, I suspect, on the way through. So the group at the back currently 28 seconds from our beacon. I think Gary is going to start to be the back of the pack. And the go is in. It came, it hit, and away we go. Time to see who has got the pace, who's got the power, who's got the speed, who can stay at the front of this group. We'll jump in with Halo Ambassador. It is Tom Knight on the front. Big kick there from Tom. He's wanting to break clear. He's wanting to get the pressure on this roller coaster section of road. It really will test the riders, and he's gone early. He knows how to ride off-road. He's taking advantage of this Cliffside diversion here where the boulder has dropped down the side. You just see the dust springing up as the riders come off the side, but Tom Knight from Halo opening the gap. Craig Genzer, Craig Herring are immediately behind this. Oliver, Williams, Osmond, Taylor, Howlett, Hurst in there, Billy Nomace tucked in there. But this leading group are absolutely flying at the moment as they make their way along here. You can see the damage that's being done behind. So 4 leaders, Knight, Herring, Oliver and Genther. Slight gap back as across comes the flying blue express train. That is Ryan Williams, and he's gone straight through them. He's gone straight through and over the top. He's not messing about there. He went through at 7 watts per kilo. And he's continued at that kick, and the gap has opened. You can't let anybody go on here. They're going to try and break clear another breakaway group with no sprinters in the group. They've done it before. They could do it again. Will today be another day like that where a small group gets to break clear early on? Because we've got George back up here. He's right on the lead out at the moment for Russ. Russ tucked in, a little bit of a gap back to Tim Cooper, Claire Richardson. Claire coming back stronger and stronger once again. Just watching Claire coming in and through in the red on that Tron bike once again. Mr. Wilson took nicely in here. So Rodney's in here. Terminator 2.0 herself in. Tracy Seeley continuing to push hard on the right-hand side of the bunch. Tracy working very, very hard. I think at the moment that heart rate, Tracy Seeley's heart rate, 193. Tracy, that is just scary. That's like George Cooper territory. 193. I do hope that's your heart rate monitor that's not giving correct numbers. That's a big, big number to be kicking out. Vin Donahoe distanced here. Key West gone Inslee with Canham and Mason. Looks like Gary getting in with him, and they're just starting to form a group here. So it looks like the pack getting together. The bus starting to punch those tickets. So Gary getting the numbers there, 2.4 watts per kilo. So good to see Gary on his way through. Gary not able to always message me in the ride, we've noticed, but always says thank you afterwards on the Facebook page. So please, guys, make sure if you've had help, you give those beaters a shout out. They're doing an amazing job. Meanwhile, front of the group, if we can get there, looks like Russ on the offensive now, going through at 9 watts per kilo coming into this downhill. And this means he should have a little bit of sliding room, but that group behind are going to come quick. They've let Russ go at the moment, and that's not too dangerous. We're coming into this descent, and that group is going to have the advantage of numbers. So Dean Taylor, Craig Gensler in here, Richardson, Osmond, Williams in here. Russ continues to push us at 3 seconds, but this group is coming fast. You can see them on this bridge pushing the way in and across. That gap is coming down. 2 seconds, 1 second, and in they go. This is going to be very fast indeed. Russ just getting a little bit of a breather. He's at 151 beats per minute. Remember, he said he's never goes up to 196. This is going to be really hard, though, on those lighter riders. So Ryan Williams is going to be trying to sit in here. Tom Lindley is likely to be the same. They're lighter. They find it much harder on these descents. They've really got to push. Looks like Kai Hurst has been dropped by that leading group. He's going to get swept up here. So this is going to be Gagan's pack in here. So looks like Claire Richardson in this group. Looks like Cindy Gagan in here. Sorry, Cindy Gagan in here. Tracy Seeley and Claire Richardson. So Claire Richardson in here, Tracy Seeley and Cindy Gagan, the 3 female contenders for our fastest female rider in the mix, all in together. This is going to be really interesting to see how that's going to play out. So Rodney in there as well. Looks like Tim Cooper in that mix. It's going to be a really interesting, real big group here of chasers onto the descent. You can just see Cindy just drop down in that tuck at the moment. In the super tuck, stopping pedaling over 50 kph, 58 kph. It's 74 kph. It's also steeper than 3%, which means that if you're in that tuck, you can see Gagan not having to do any effort. Total recovery here by Gagan. Now picks the pace up because we go into the 2%. That's an experienced racer for you. And rider using those group dynamics to make sure they keep the effort down to a minimum. Now, that gap is not massive. It is not massive. It's 9 seconds. 9 seconds here. Are we going to see Kai Hurst leading the train across to the leaders? This chasing group have got some serious firepower. Got all of our faster female riders plus pit riders in the group like Kai Hurst. So Rodney's in here, Mick Hawkins in here, Mr. Langmead's in this group. Now Rich Orrell is in here. If they motor now, looks like Wilson in this group, they could try and close this gap down in front. These are your leading group. We're down in the tunnels. We're underwater at the moment. And it looks like Jimmy Allen just going for a little sneaky one. The Wolf has gone off on a lone attack. The man who is our leader when Russ is otherwise engaged is Jimmy Allen, the Wolf, who's gone. And it looks like Lindley has seen the danger, closing it down as Allen shuts off the throttles. Now is Lindley going to go straight over the top here? We're not all that far from home. We have the turn as we come into the Jarvis Street to take that turn here. We take that right-hand turn, and Lindley has the gap at the moment. So it's Lindley with a slight gap, 2 seconds on this chasing group. He's just gone shooting past our screen, and looks like Howler in this group. Now, Kai Hurst leading the charge here. He's got some help. Dermot, Dubash, Fubs. It looks like they've got Wilson, they've got Richardson. If they really push here, they've got a chance of keeping that gap right down behind. Then it's Donahoe, Malin. Then it's Keyworth. He's got a big group with him as well. That's Nadone. It's going to be Canham, Goddard, Sonia a little bit further back. Got Bobby Mason, Sean Ferron there. Then it's going to be Stefano. But this is a really interesting pack making the way in and through. Russ and Co in here. And I'm not sure who my money's on in amongst this group. We've got Dale Williams, who's got a phenomenal sprint on him in here. We've got, of course, the pair. Russ is in. Tom Lindley tucked in here. Tom Knight in this group as well. Tatchell Waller could go on the attack. This is going to be a really interesting. Craig Genther in here, and Jimmy Allen is being left out to dry at the front. Or maybe they're just letting him make the move here because they don't think he's going to hold it into the finish. But remember, this is a rested wolf. This is the man who we know has been out on holiday having a bit of a nice time playing golf. So let's take a look. Jimmy Allen at the moment sat out in front, just taking it nice and steady. Now Ryan Williams starts to put in the dig. So Williams is going to try and come across here. Tom Knight is going, he's right behind. So Tom Knight, we're coming in to the climb. This is where it's going to get critical. We're on to the slopes. Now Jimmy Allen is going to get some reinforcements, but he's got to go with them when they come up. Tom Knight, Tatchell Waller, Oliver kicking down hard. They're trying to close the gap down on the Wolf. The Wolf is going to get over the top in the company of Williams. I don't know that Knight is going to make it onto Jimmy Allen's wheel before they get over the top, and they are really close behind Williams here. Jimmy Allen still has that gap, but it is tenuous now as in comes Williams. So the charge is on. Williams picks up Jimmy Allen. Allen has to respond to this, and that climb has done all sorts of damage behind. Looks like Howland out of the running, Osman out of the running. It looks like Cooper has gone pop after that massive chase on him. Maybe he's just been smart because he's racing at the weekend. Meanwhile, Herring, Lindley, Knight, all in that chasing group behind Ryan Williams. A dangerous man to let go. He's at 8 watts per kilo. Just drops it back down to just under the 7 marker. But remember, we finish at that gantry. Just see it, in fact, on the map, top right-hand side of your screen. The gang is coming. But Ryan Williams took a little bit of a lead when we were coming into Box Hill on Tuesday. Is he going to make it 2 out of 2? He who reacts fastest wins usually at this game. He who goes first. You've just got to have the power to make it stick at the moment. Williams is on there. They now come up. Herring hits the front hard, but now Lindley has got a big attack going in. Lindley's gone over the top, but Dale Williams has gone over the top of Lindley. Lindley's putting in the power. Williams has gone hard here. Can he hold it, though? He's got Lindley behind. We've seen Lindley roll a Russ as they've come into the line, but Dale Williams has the gap at the moment. But Lindley is coming behind him. He's closing in on him. That gantry is coming. Oh, he's so tight on the line. That's going to go back to a photo finish. I think it went to Williams. And I think Tom Lindley just missed out. Tom Lindley just missed out there on the win. We'll get another rerun coming through. So Tom Knight, Oliver Herring comes through. Jimmy Allen through. George Cooper comes through. Next up is Howlett coming in and through the finish. Then it's going to be Richardson, followed by Dean Taylor. Dean doing a great ride here, followed by Billy Nomich. John Garfoot leading this chase in. Who's going to get our fastest female? It is Tracy Seeley. So the Terminator does the business here. I'll be back. She's back indeed. Seeley takes that spot. So it's Tracy Seeley, our first female rider through. Then it was Richardson being followed then by Gagan. Cindy Gagan going through third of our females in and through the line. We're going to try and roll our way back to the next group coming in. I think it's going to be the Donahoe Malin group with Simon running now. Malin can sprint, Donahoe can sprint, and so can Simon run it. Who's it going to be out of this little lot? Going to be very tight, very close on the way in. Who's got the pace here? Donohoe starts to wind it up. He's seen the gantry you give him. He's gone for it. Now Malin's trying to react. Has he got the power to do it? It's going to be Finn Donohoe who's going to get it. Then Malin then run it behind. The machine that is Cadam goes through. He's ahead of Nadoni, followed by Keyworth. Andy Keyworth on a great ride here. Pritchard, Clark and Gale go through with, I think it is going to be Goddard just coming up behind. Then it's going to be Inslee, Mason and Co. So Goddard's going to be our next rider in to the line. Another super fast night here on the Donny Chain Gang. So Goddard moving his way in to the line here. Gets out of the saddle, puts in that sprint. I think behind, you can just see it out of the duo. It is going to be super strong sprinter Sonia, who has got the lead. Sean Ferrer's got massive power on him. Oh, just roll Sonia as they go over the line. They've got a tiny little gap there to Bobby Mason. Then it's going to be a drop back. I think Stefano's going to be our next rider into the line. We're going to try and get a hold of Russ, see if he's got any lungs left after that one. It was one heck of a fight into the line, and it came right down to that last sprint in. So Stefano from Nonnas on his way in to the line, and we know Stefano, of course, and Nonnas are familiar haunt for Russ. And Russ, I think we've got you on the line. Are you alive?
Alive, oh mate.
Excellent.
Just getting warmed up.
Just getting warmed up. That's no use. You're too late, mate. It's all over. They thought it was all over. It is now.
I'm in the pain cave, not me. 17 degrees now. So yes, temperature's definitely getting up there, which is about time.
Well, it's definitely hot out on the coast. Just seen Stefano Borelli go through. Andy Hawes just making his way in through the line. Good to see we've still got Andy with us. He comes in just ahead of Rob Wimble. Didn't think we would necessarily see the gang coming in together at this stage. Andy, of course, out doing a lot of the Tour of Britain work at the moment, and definitely great to have him back in with us.
Yeah, I think he missed one the other night, stuck on the M25 car park as normal, I think Tuesday. So yeah, he's happy to get back online with us.
Well, it is good to see him back in, and shows you just how quick this is, because the bus is rolling into the line as well. Because we've got, I think it's Monty, Gary and Ian all together here. Just making the way in and through, doing an amazing job here, and heading in for the line. So Ian doing a good job as always, and got to say a big thank you to all the gang at Bolsover. I might be slightly biased because of course it's my club, but we do get a lot of support, a lot of riders, and a lot of our Red Beacons coming from Bolsover, from the Stellaton gang and from the local clubs.
Yeah, I think like you just said there, you may be biased, but the Bolsover gang have supported it through and through from the start, and then it's just grown, you know. Stellaton, you know, so many clubs support it. It's great to see, you know. We had 60 online there tonight. Lovely evening, and everyone chooses to ride online with us, you know. I can't thank you enough for that, you know. If we still, however many the numbers are, we still have to put all the work in, and you know, we're going to have a great last month. You know, we're all wanting to sneak out and top up the tans, and yeah, it's good. We've got another few weeks, and like we said, some great routes. Let's try and take some wins off those kids, guys. Come on. Don't work with them. Let's work against them.
Well, it was really interesting to see. I think it went to Dale Williams rather than Tom Lindley on the line. We're going to have to watch that back to get that. It was so close. Tom was coming and he kicked again, in a very reminiscent, in fact, of our gritty week when we came in on the finish and we saw young Tom Lindley turn into just Tom Lindley. So really interesting to see as they made the way through and round. So absolutely cracking to see the riders out there. And gotta say, Russ, an end of another successful week on the Chain Gang. And a massive thank you to Halo, of course, because they've done an amazing job.
Yeah, you know, it was Carl Johnson tonight, wasn't it?
Carl Johnson indeed tonight, £100 spending on the velowheels.com website. And Paul Mallin winning the Halo jersey on Tuesday. So great to see the gang picking up plenty of goodies on the way through. And the members of the DCG gang are absolutely key. They keep the show on the road. They keep the wheels turning. And got to say a massive thank you. So the goodies from Halo going towards that. And, of course, our final giveaway is going to be OTE. And that's going to be coming on the last week. Which means Russ has 2 more weeks of riding. And I think, out of that, have you got 4 more rides to do, Russ? 4 more rides? No, 3 more rides for us, 4 more on the chain gang. I was just checking up on the numbers. So that means you get a little bit of a rest, Russ. That's all right.
No, I think I'm on them all. We've got a special leader in the last week.
I think we have one. I think we have a shared lead on the last week. We'll have to go. Do you know what? Don't trust me. I've been out in the sunshine, as you can't tell, getting cooked and crashing into trees on the mountain bike. So probably just knocked all the sense out of me. No doubt, Russ and I will get it together in the meantime. So a big thank you, Russ, and enjoy your weekend. And no doubt we'll catch up with you on Tuesday.
Yeah, hope so. And like I said, everyone get some Easter eggs down you, slow you down, and we'll see you all next week.
So great to catch up. As Russ says, grab those Easter eggs. Don't forget, of course, make sure that you remember the DCG gang. Couple of weeks left, couple of weeks to grab those discount codes. 25% off OTE, 20% off Gritty for the final monthly celebration, 10% from Halo. 20% off Fellow Skin as well. Big discounts, and of course, really useful when you want to get out there in the sunshine. So have a great Easter weekend from me, who's not going to eat any Easter eggs at all. Not kidding, honest, much gov. Have an amazing weekend. We will see you out and about. If you see us out in real life, give us a shout. Make sure you give us a follow. It's at Matt Fix Pain. If you want to catch up with me in the meantime, going to be out and about. Going to be broadcasting on Sunday. And, of course, don't forget to say hi if you see any of the gang, like the Gritty Gang, up at the National Mountain Bike Series. So, from me, Matt Payne, from Russ, from all of our red beacons, from everybody who makes this show happen, have a great weekend. We'll see you next week for the penultimate week before our summer break on the Donny Chain Gang, live here on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel.